Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today sit a while for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So today we are looking a little bit at a different screen. The screen has always been in the game, but I usually don't show that very much. It's usually part of something I just glance really fast. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to this because there's no salary cap yet and anything, and I cannot get fired. But I thought that I would take a look today because I was getting really close as far as budget for players. I wanted to see how much wiggle room I had, maybe to try to make it a little bit more challenging on myself. I haven't won the cup or anything. But I've been signing like all of those great players left and right, so I wanted to see how much I had left. So I have a little bit over 4 millions where I can pick up players. That might happen. I'm gonna show why here soon. There's a couple of things that really puzzle me with the screen. First one is on the bottom left. It says that my fans are fanatic, but I still struggle to, get 10,000 people in the arena like consistently. So that's not even half full because the capacity is over 20,000, and sometimes I don't even get 10,000. So if my fans are fanatic, why aren't they coming to the arena? So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Also, it says average attendance there. I am not sure if it's like since the start or if it's like for the preseason. I don't know. It has to be for the preseason because total attendance is only 19,000. So yeah, a couple things that don't make a lot of sense to me in here. Um, if my fans are fanatic, they should be coming to watch games. I understand my market size is average and everything. Something is not working right over there. I've been mentioning it for a few videos now. That's something that I feel should be looked at. But anyway, I digress. So I have about 4 millions and I really want to improve my D. So here you are. This is the team that's going to be starting this season. Keep in mind Mike Sillinger is still injured, so he's going to take either David Viborni's or Mike Fisher's spot. I haven't decided yet. I like my offense. My goaltending is okay. I don't mind it too much, but my D has a lot of one-star players. The potential looks good, but a lot of those players haven't reached potential yet. So I don't know what's going to happen here. We're about to hit the spot where there's going to be a bunch of players on waivers. I might pick up some defensive help if some is found over there. That's going to be kind of a novelty for me. Usually in those, since the start, I've been looking for left wingers and goaltenders mostly. But if there's a D that looks like he could slide in, I might pick him up. I like the names. Shara, Berard, McCabe, Phillips, Amertic, Surrey, and Salo. Those are all good defensemen. I like the names and everything, but that's a lot of one-star players. So we'll see. I'm not going to force it too much because there's also a chance that they grow during the season. When players reach maturity, they tend to develop faster if they're in the NHL because they're at the right level. So a guy like Sami Salo might reach his 2-star potential, and he's also one of the very few players there that's wow, he's one of my oldest defensemen actually. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that if that's possible. And one thing you may or may not have noticed is German Titov is not on my starting lineup, so I decided to keep Brad Larson instead. German Titov is starting in the minors. He's probably going to be pretty upset. The veteran didn't make the team, so I traded for him at the trade deadline last year, and he really didn't have a really good training camp, and he really didn't do anything to impress me during the time he was with us or in the playoffs. Neither did Robert Cron, but at least Robert Cron had a decent camp, so I decided to keep him on the lineup. So that's the lineup we're going to start with. Ryan Miller is hurt, but that didn't... He was still going to start in the minors. I'm going to give Tim Thomas a shot to develop and everything. So that was pretty much... what I had to say here at the start of the season. So we are, of course, nowhere in the standings because we have not played any games. We did get undefeated in the preseason, so that might be interesting to see what happens during the season. So let's get started here. Alright, that and Brad Bombardier and German Titov might get picked up on waivers. That would be a first if we had a player picked up. Alright, so I believe that's going to be... Yep, that's the day that we're looking at all of those good people. And see if we want to pick up somebody. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, so I could claim Tommy Salo back if I wanted. I don't think I'm going to do that. Ugh. I mean, Avlid, maybe? Marty Turco and Tommy Salo are being put on waivers. That's interesting. Best player is Tommy Salo. There's just not anybody that's like a really good upgrade on who I have. I still want to claim a couple players. I'm kind of short, like at center. Who do I want to... Let's claim Avlid. And let's see. Oh, there's really not a lot of... That's why I had problems seeing centers to claim. There's barely any. I'm gonna claim Guola. He's not super good or anything. He's a one-star player, but he might come in handy eventually. Oh, what about right wingers? I'm short there too. Oh, really not a lot, huh? Oh, Maxim Sushinsky. So I have a story with that guy. I'm going to claim him for good old time's sake. So I mentioned way back, if you've listened to all of my videos, you might have caught it. Mentioned that I think it's in last year's game that I started a game where I was redrafting and that I managed to make the playoffs with the Senators as soon as the first lockout season, which is what, two or three seasons in, so that's pretty fast. And I had Maxim Sushinsky on my team. I had never heard of the guy, and he developed into a 2.5-star player that was scoring 20 to 25 goals a season. So he was a pretty cool story. So I'm picking him up. He doesn't have that kind of potential right now or anything like that, but yeah, good for good old time's sake, I'm picking him up. There you go. Alright, Avlid doesn't clear waivers claimed by Senators. Yay! I claim Guola. I pick Sushinsky. All right, the 2000 and 2001 NHL season preview is underway. So the Stanley Cup favorites appear to be New Jersey, led by goalie Marty Brodeur, and Detroit and Colorado. Montreal is a dark horse. The scoring race will likely see Teemu Selanne, Jaromir Jagr, and Mario Lemieux fight for it. Top defenseman is going to be Chelios, Lidstrom, or Blake. And for the goaltenders, Brodeur, Roy, and Belfour. So as usual, a lot of names that we've seen a lot of times. Eventually those are going to change. Alright. What? Oh. I spaced out, I'm sorry. Alright. So you can have 17, you can have 28, and you can't have 33. You can have 3. No, not for a forward. I don't like... 3 is more for a defenseman. I guess I'm a little bit like Lou Lamoriello for that. Lou Lamoriello is really picky about the numbers that his players can wear. Maybe not. I mean, I've been giving weird numbers. I gave Brad Larson number 99. So I guess I have to retract that. What number? 23 is fine. You're all going to go into the minors anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So Gula. Sushinsky. And do I want to keep Avid? Okay, but over who do I send down? I don't want to send anybody down. Dang. Maybe I send Brad Larson. Maybe I carry 2 extra Ds. I've never done that. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. I'm gonna carry 2 extra Ds for now, see how things go, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, so Avlid gets to stay. Alright. Oh, Shannon Sorry would like to have number 44. Yeah, you can have it. There you go, buddy. Alright, we are about to start the season. So the 2000-2001 season is about to start in Boston. We're starting on the road. Memorable game for Matt Sundin. Whew, tough start to the season. We're already having problems speaking. So Sundin got a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Stars. Of course, Sundin is still playing for the Avalanche in my universe. He never got traded to the Leafs, which is good for us. And then here we are, about to face the Boston Bruins in the first game of the season on the road. Then we're going to play at home a little bit, on the road a little bit, at home a little bit, on the road a little bit again. So let's take a look at the Bruins. So first of all, do they have any injuries? They do. They have Don Sweeney, who is hurt right now, so he's not going to be playing on D. So in that, they are still pretty much set with Nabokov and Vokun. That's a pretty good tandem. No problem there. Yanni Nienimus and Dis Ozelinch. That's Brian's. Which Smith is that? Brandon Smith. Okay. Kultanen, Ray Bork, Pasmik, Craig Rivet, Jonathan Girard, David Tanabe. These are alright. Stumpo, Donato, Kent Manderville, Todd Warner, Keith Primo, Mike Ricci, Ellen McCauley, Joel Perpich, Tchaikovsky, Emerson, Glenn Murray, Mark Mowers. So keep in mind, the Boston Bruins had all of those guys retire. They basically had a line worth. Oates, Juno, and Ken Neely all retired after the last season. So Yeah, that looks a little bit different. I guess Keith Primo is their first center now. So the offense is okay, but it probably hurts them to have lost all of those players. So, all right, let's go ahead and play in Boston. So Avlid is playing is playing the first game. McCabe, so I guess what's his name? So Chris Phillips is sitting, and what's the other guy? God, Berard. Okay, Berard is sitting as well. All right, we are sending Mike Dunham. They are going with Evgeny Nabokov. So go Sens go. Let's have a great 2000-2001 season. And it starts with a loss in Boston, 4-1. Didn't have the greatest game there. We did outshoot them 40-39, so I guess we stumbled on a pretty hot Yevgeny Nabokov. Ray Bourque was the first star of that game. He had a goal and an assist. Nabokov was the second star with 39 saves, and Josef Stumpel was a third star with a goal and an assist. We actually scored first. Yashin on the power play from Osa and Sheldon Surrey. And then it was all Boston, so they scored twice in the first, so they were up 2-1 after one. And then they scored twice more in the third, and of course 4-1 was the final score. Well, that didn't take long. So I picked up Avlid to help with the D, and he got hurt. So he has a strained oblique muscle, and he's going to be out for 3 weeks. All right. Glenn Murray extends his goal streak to 5 goals against 5 games against us. He had a goal and an assist. All right. Well, you go to the injury list, and I guess I'm gonna recall Brad Larson. And there goes the there goes the 2 spare D experiment. All right. All right. Next game is in a couple days at home. We're gonna be hosting the Stars. Yeah, I'm not gonna give him number 99 again. Let's give you a different number than that. How about here? I'm not picking up Danny Eatley anytime, so you can have 15. Bad memories from Danny Eatley. The 50 goal seasons were nice and everything. The overall attitude was not as good. Alright, so let's see here. We have Steve Yzerman, who extended his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against Edmonton. Wow. 35, 4 stars. Still a pretty great player, Stevie Y. Shannon struggling, blames lack of strength. Okay, that's a new email. I haven't seen that one before. That's good. Attempting to justify declining performances, St. Louis left wing Brendan Shanahan has been complaining that he feels no strength in his arms to anyone who will listen. Reportedly, one of the people not listening is his own team, who have been disappointed by the player's performance this season. Time will tell how this rebuke will sully the relationship between the team and the player, but it seems unlikely either side trusts the other fully at this time. Ooh. Could Brendan Shanahan be available for trade? I really need help on the... I mean, I would take Brendan Shanahan in a heartbeat on the team, but my first 2 left wingers are Marian Osa and Pavel Datsyuk, so do I really need him? I'm not sure. Alright, so we are playing the Stars. So the Stars have played 1 game. They are 0-1, just like us. Now, let's see, do they have any injuries? No injuries in Dallas. They didn't make that nice trade. I see Jochen Hecht there, so let's see. Oh, they still... Oh, ew. I looked at like the overall ability on the right there, and the D and goaltending is a little scary. So Mike Fountain and Marc Lamotte in net, that's not great. Patrick Boileau, Mike Crowley, Peter Buzek, Dave Manson, Yevgeny Nemesnikov, and Blake Sloan on D. Yeah, when your best D is Patrick Boileau, you're probably in trouble there. So Uvdalen, Troy Mallet, Tyler Book, Jochen Hecht, Johnson, Nico Kapanen. Mike Modano is a pretty good player. Smith, Anson Carter, Iginla, Trent Klatt, Yuri Lettinen, and Brendan Morrow. So at forward, they have a few pretty decent players, so they are doing a little bit better up front, but that D and that goaltending, ooh, I bet they wish they didn't trade Marty Turco. They could have picked him up on waivers. He was available. Alright, so they are going with Marc Lamotte in net. We are going with Mike Dunham. And we lost 4-3. Oh boy. Not a good start to the season. Not what I was expecting. We outshot them 28-21. Ryan Johnson, I believe. Yeah, Ryan Johnson is the first star with a goal and an assist. Alexei Yashin for us is the second star. He assisted on every single goal, 3 assists. And Blake Sloan was the third star with an assist. We had 11,751 fanatic fans in the arena. So let's see. Dallas took a 1-0 lead in the first. Then they took a 2-0 lead in the second. Then we had Alfredson scored from Yashin and Osa. It was 2-1, but Ryan Johnson scored, made it 3-1 Dallas. Then Iginla made it 4-1, and then we have Brian McCabe that scored from Alfredson and Yashin, and Osa on the power play from Yashin and Matt Cullen. It was 4-3, but there was 4:34 left to go, and we could not tie the game. So we are 0-2. And now we're facing potential Stanley Cup champions, according to pundits in town, so that's not going to be easy. Glenn Murray extends his goal streak to 6. He scored a goal against Philadelphia. So he is on a little bit of a streak. Alright, so... Oh, that's... I had mentioned that at the end of the last video. We had like almost a full week without games. Great night for Oleg Teredovsky, who had 4 assists against the Blues. So Anaheim trounced the Blues 9-2. No further punishment for Primo, so keep Primo not suspended in Boston. Nicholas Avlid is ready to come back to practice. No news today. Alright. Steve Yzerman has a good game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Edmonton, and that made it 6 straight games with a goal for him. So he is also on a nice little streak. So Glenn Murray and Stevie Y on goal streaks right now. Strong night for Corey Stillman, who had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Columbus. So Stillman playing for the Flames, 3-star player. Sounds about right. Maybe a little generous. He was a pretty decent player. Alright, so we are playing now at home against the Devils, and then we will be playing in Toronto. So the Devils have only played 1 game, and it was a tie, so they have 1 point. We have 0 points because we are 0-2. So let's take a look at potential Stanley Cup champions, New Jersey Devils. Alright. Oh, Scott Stevens is hurt, so at least he's not going to concuss any of our players. That's the good news. Marty Brodeur and Brent Johnson in net, so whenever you have Marty Brodeur in net, you're set. It doesn't really matter who's the backup. Especially in those years, Brodeur would play 76 games a season, so it didn't really matter who your backup was. Colin White, Tommy Albaline, Per Juice, Sean Hill, Nick Boynton, Shane Knighty, Scott Niedermeyer, and Brian Rafalski on D. So they are missing Scott Stevens, but that D is still alright. Patrick Eliash, Steve Sullivan, Bobby Alec, Brian Rolston, and John Madden, Eric Rasmussen, Scott Gomez, Tony Amante, Brian Giunta, Claude Lemieux, Scott Walker, Peter Sicker, and Dean Sylvester. So it's a pretty well-rounded team. Not gonna be easy to win. We are playing at home. Go Sens go. Let's give our fanatic fans a first win of the season. So of course they're going with Brother. We're going with Mike Dunham. And we did play the Devils twice in the preseason, and we won both games, obviously, because we did not lose a game there. I would trade those wins with the losses I got during the regular season. Oh, hell yeah, because we lost again, 4-1. Alright, maybe it's time to bring Tim Thomas in net in Toronto tomorrow. We were outshot 37-26 in that one. Colin White was the first star for the Devils, not the Colin White of 2020 who plays for the Sens. He had an assist. Scott Niedermeyer was the second star with a goal, and Tony Amante, third star with a goal as well. We had 12,002 people in attendance. So the Devils took a 1-0 lead in the first, then they took a 2-0 lead into the second, before Joe Nieuwendyk made it 2-1, assisted by Surrey and Thornton. But the Devils would score 2 more goals. It was 4-1, and it stayed that way. Oh boy, that's not good. So in that game, Daniel Alfredson got hurt, and he's day-to-day. Joe Nieuwendyk also got hurt, and he's day-to-day as well. At least they're not both out for like 3 months. I guess I have to take. The silver linings where I can. And the game I just played was Joe Nieuwendyk's 1000th game in his career. Alright, so Nieuwendyk can play with his injury, but Alfredson can't. Yeah, he's listed as 1 to 2 weeks, so I'm going to put him on the injury list and recall somebody. I'm not going to recall somebody for Nieuwendyk because it might be short. So it's pretty much the start of the season, and there won't be. So as you can see, that's why I picked up a couple players. I really don't have a whole lot of forwards to play with. I guess I could recall German Titov. He has a point in 3 games. 4 points in 3 games, 2 points in 3 games, 1 point in 4 points in 3 games. You know what? Let's try our luck with Maxim Sushinsky. Let's see if he clicks with some of my players again. Let's see if he becomes a surprise again and scores goals. Alright, so that's a very long scouting report. Mike Sininger ready for team practice? Yep. Come back, buddy. Alright, he wants number 33. Yeah, we talked about that. You can't have it. You can have 23, though. I'm fine with you having that, and you're fine. Everybody's happy. Yay. Alright, so we are playing in Toronto. So right now, we are the worst team in the East. We are the only team in the East who still hasn't scored any points. That is not good. We need to change that. So we are playing in Toronto. Toronto is 1-1-1 so far this season. Alright, and Joe Sacco is hurt. He's not going to be playing. As is Yannick Tremblay. And apparently Wendell Clark just cannot get rid of that excess weight he's gained. He is still considered unfit. That's been like, what, 4 seasons now? So Jean-Sébastien Giguère in net, and Steve Shields as the backup, so that's okay there. Hurlbut, Matvichuk, Daniel Markov, Thomas Cabardi, Dmitry Mironov, Peter Popovich, and Yannick Tremblay on D. So the D is okay. It's not a stellar D, but it's not bad either. Wendell Clark, Frederick Modine, Vinny Prospo, Rick Gerard, Tim Taylor, Doug Gilmore, Todd Marshall, Yannick Perrault, Brian Smolinski, Nick Antropov, Matthew Barnaby, Brad Boyes, Martin Gelina, and Anu Ivanen, I think his name was. Hannes Ivanen. So the forwards are not... it's kind of average. So they kind of have a good team, but not great, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Oh, Sushinsky's playing. Come on, man. Score me a hat trick. I need it. Alright, we're sending Tim Thomas in net. My computer listened to me. That's good. Steve Shields in net for Toronto. Let's get us a win. Oh boy. We lost 7-3. Yikes. I'm going to need to fire my coach at this point. I'm going to need to make a drastic move. And short of kicking the trash can in the dressing room, I'm going to need to fire Roger Nielsen. So Martin Gelina was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Thomas Cabardi was the second star, a goal and 3 assists, and Doug Gilmore was the third star with 2 assists. We outshot them 33-32. So Robert Cron opened the scoring from Shara and Nieuwendyk. And then the Leafs would tie, then we took the lead again. Thornton on the power play from Osa and Matt Cullen. And then Gelina scored his first goal of the game. It was tied at 2 after 1, sorry. Then in the second period, the Leafs took a 4-2 lead. And then we had Marian Osa score on the power play from Yashin and Thornton. It was 4-3. And then in the third period, everything went down the drain. The Leafs scored 3 times and we lost 7-3. And this is not good. I definitely wasn't expecting to start the season 0-4. And we know that Martin Gelina got a hat-trick. I was there. I was pretty frustrated all night. Alright. Alright, Mike Sillinger ahead of schedule. I hope so. We're losing. Could use him. Oh, the Leafs are trying to pass Ivanen through waivers. Alright, next game is in Philadelphia. Oh, Sillinger is almost ready. Alright, so in Philadelphia against the Flyers, we are still 0-4, still last in the East. That doesn't look very good on us. All of my injured players are now day-to-day, so it's only a matter of time. And Philly is 3-2 on the season for 6 points. They don't really have any injuries. They are lucky. We are not as lucky. Oh, they have got back Jamie McLennan in that. So McLennan played a season. Where was it again that he played? In Montreal. Yeah, McLennan played in Montreal last season. Didn't have a very good season after that stellar season that he had. Then I guess the Flyers decided, hey, you know what? 2 years ago, Jamie McLennan had like that really good season for us. So let's go ahead and get him back. Alright, so Roman Cechmanek is the other goaltender. Sean Chambers, Yaroslav Modry, Todd Reardon, Pavel Trenka, William Mitchell, Drew Bannister, and Eric Weinrich on D. It's kind of a mixed bag. Marcus Naslund, Simon Gagné, Matt Cook, Ron Brandamore, Denius Zubrus, Eric Lindros, Jeff Shams, Mark Smith, Ubasek, Williams, Recchi, Renberg, Tucker, and Martin St. Louis. Yeah, there's a lot of potential on that team. A lot of players have not reached it. Some have. Regardless, it's a pretty scary team to go face when you haven't won a game. Alright, They are going with Roman Cechmanek. We are trying to get Mike Dunham to, save some pucks. Oh, we won, finally. Mike Dunham still allowed too many goals, but we finally won our first game of the season on the road in Philadelphia, 7-4. Thank God. So we outshot them 43-34. Sammy Salo was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Joe Nieuwendyk played despite the pain. He had a goal and an assist for the second star. And Andreas Dackel, third star, a goal and an assist as well. So we didn't fool around in the first period. We took a 4-0 lead. So Bill Guerin scored from Osa and Thornton, Nieuwendyk from Dackel and Surrey, Robert Cron from Mike Fisher and Sammy Salo, Osa from Alexei Yashin and Zdeno Chara, and then Brennan Moore scored. It was 4-1 after 1. And then Thornton on the power play from Yashin from Salo and Osa. It was 6-1. Then Philadelphia scored twice. It was 6-3 after 2. And then we traded goals in the third. Dackel from Nieuwendyk and Arvidsson. And Mikael Renberg scored, but it was 7-4. It held finally a win. Now let's win 7 in a row or something. Matt Sundin has achieved 300 goals in his career. Pretty good season for career for him. With a goal against the Washington Capitals. Nieuwendyk almost ready. Mike Sillinger is ready. Yeah, I think that I am going to get Mike Sillinger back. And I think that Viborny is the guy that's going down. Viborny is not really doing anything. Viborny had a few decent seasons with Columbus, but that was about it. Alright. Speaking in real life, of course. So the next game is against Pittsburgh. Now, I hope we come out strong to avenge that sweep in the first round. Oh, that's good. So prior to playing us, Pittsburgh played Carolina, and Mario Lemieux got hurt. Robert Reichel in Calgary got suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Alrighty, so playing Pittsburgh. We always struggle against Pittsburgh, as evidenced in the playoffs last season. I don't know why we have a complex so much against them. So let's take a quick look here. Mario Lemieux cannot play. That's not a bad thing. Tom Barrasso is also on the injured reserve, but he's healthy, so they're taking him out today. He might play, actually. And then they have Hebert and Skudra in net right now. Adrian Aucoin and Drew Ference, Brooks Orpik, Ulf Samuelsson, Chris Therien, Tom Pody, Michael Rossival on D. So a lot of D that likes to hit, and a couple others. So Tom Pody was one of the... I mentioned at the start of the previous episode that in free agency there weren't a lot of big names as like the few years prior. Tom Pody was a guy that I was maybe wanting to get. Now that I see that they got him for that cheap, I kind of regret not going for him, but it's all good. Alright, so Jagger, Brett Lindros, Martin Streka, Brad Smith, Ron Francis, Lemieux is Art Ardina Park, Semisek, Kostopoulos Daniels, Mekakern, Morozov, and Tibbetts. So the Penguins are starting, past those stars. There's it's starting to be a little barren there. They definitely are not as strong overall. Alright, Guillebert is going to be in net. He's going to face his former team, playing against Mike Dunham. And we won 6-1. Alright, that 7 winning streak that I predicted is underway. We outshot them 41-25. Of course, it helped that Lemieux wasn't there. my apologies. And then first star was Matt Cullen. He had a hat trick. Oh, that's pretty good. Usually he's my top defensive center. So Cullen hat trick, first star. Brian Berard second star with 2 assists, and Pavel Datsyuk third star with 2 assists as well. We had 12,514 people in attendance. So we took a 3-0 lead in the first. Dackel scored from Arvidsson and Berard. Then Matt Cullen scored his first from Guerin and Datsyuk. Then Matt Cullen again from Datsyuk and Bill Guerin. Then Brett Lindros scored. It was 3-1 for the Sens after 1. Sheldon Sorey scored in the second from Yashin and Brian Berard. It was 4-1 after 2. Then Brian McCabe from Roman Hammerlich and Mike Fisher, and Matt Cullen from Joe Thornton and Marian Osa on the power play completed his hat trick. So it was 6-1. Nice little game against a team that we often struggle against. And Matt Cullen had a strong game. I know, I was there. I was so happy. Not enough to throw my hat on the... Well, if I'm the GM, I'm probably all the way to the top. Even if I throw my hat, it probably doesn't reach the ice anyway. Unless I put a rock in it, then it's, it's a hazard. I might kill somebody. That's not good. I don't want to do that. So, I did not throw my hat. Alright, next game is going to be in 2 days at home against the Thrashers. Oh, that's good. Johnny Van Dyke is not hurt anymore, and there's been a trade between the Bruins and the Lightning. Let's see what happened with that trade there. Alright, Mikko Eloranta goes to Tampa Bay for Brent Gretzky. Wow, Brent Gretzky still playing in the league. Oh wow, he did get 42 points last season. Look at him. Mikko Eloranta, okay. Not the biggest trade in history, but okay. And Peter Skudra is being put on waivers to make room for Tom Barrasso, who is coming back from injury in Pittsburgh. Pierre Turgeon has tallied 1,000 games, so he did that against the Thrashers. So the Thrashers played against the Islanders right before playing us. He did get an assist to celebrate that. Tony Ludman is suspended in Calgary. He's going to miss 1 game. Alright, so we are playing the Thrashers. They are 1-4. One of the few teams that's worse than us in the East right now. So, Atlanta 1-4. Let's take a look at their roster. Oh, they have quite a few injuries. Not good for an expansion team. So Marek Malik is hurt, Yanni Lokanen is hurt, and Dan Boyle. So it's mostly their D. So their D is being tested early in the season. And they have Sylvain Lefebvre that's going to play injured. So, wow. Okay. So they still have Cujo in net, Curtis Joseph, and then Rob Zepp. Cannot say that I'm super familiar with him. That's the goaltending tandem. Calle Johansson of previous Ottawa Senators fame is in the lineup. Sylvain Lefebvre, can't say I'm familiar with that guy either. Libor Usternul. Okay, so if you've heard of that guy before, you're probably a more fanatic fan of hockey than me, and you probably should go to my Sens games because I don't have a lot of people in attendance. Jeff Finlay, Francis Cusera, Marcus Ragnarsson, Simon Gamache. Now that guy I remember because he used to play when he was a kid. He used to play against some of my friends in Canada, and the rumor, or what my friends were saying, is that he had one heck of an attitude. Danny Heatley, look at that. The heater, Danny Heatley. Matthias Johansson, Valery Kamiensky, Oyanen, Armstrong, Chris Gratton, Peter Nedved, Tim Connolly, Patrick Stefan, Brown, Krivokrasov, Lawrence McCarty, Sami Kapanen. So, not the best team. I am not trading them Marian Osa for Danny Eatley. You can forget about it. That's not happening. I will not repeat mistakes of the past. Let's beat them. So they are sending Curtis Joseph. We are going with Tim Thomas. Oof, look at that save percentage. Tim Thomas can only do better. And we won 3-2. There you go. Oh, he didn't have a lot of shots, though. So that save percentage is not going to go up all that much. So we outshot them 45-19. Joe Thornton is the first star of the game. He participated to all of our goals with a goal and 2 assists. Derek Armstrong for Atlanta was the second star. He scored both of their goals. And Alexei Yashin, a goal and an assist, was the third star. 11,886 people in attendance. Mariano Osa scored from Yashin and Thornton. It was 1-0 after 1. Then we traded goals in the second. Armstrong tied it on the power play. But then Yashin scored on the power play from Thornton and Cullen. It was 2-1 for us. And then Armstrong tied it again, giving his team his all. But Thornton scored on the power play again from Marian Osa. So basically, we made them pay with our power play. Oh, there's a lot of news here. There's 4 games left in October. We're going on a little road trip. Tony Ludman is back from suspension in Calgary, so that's good for them. Steve Chiasson is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Still in Detroit. Thankfully, the tragic incidents that befell Steve Chiasson didn't happen in my universe. Nick Lidstrom extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had 2 assists against Buffalo. And in that same game, Steve Yzerman extended his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals and 2 assists. Vitaly Yakhmanev has a great game. So former Ottawa Senator Vitaly Yakhmanev had a hat-trick, 3 goals. You sure as hell didn't do that for me. Nathan Dempsey in St. Louis is suspended for 7 games. Frederick Lawson played in a 1,000 game. So he plays for St. Louis. So in that same game, he played in his 1,000 game and did score a goal. Alright, and Alfie is feeling better. Not quite there yet, but feeling better. Alright, in 3 games we're going to play in Pittsburgh. Nick Lidstrom's assist streak ended at 8 games. held scoreless against Columbus, of all people. Steve Yzerman's point streak ended at 12 games as well. Well, yeah, they got shut out 4-0. So Columbus shut out the Stanley Cup champions. Well, Columbus is 4-3-1 right now. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Actually, that's better than us. So that Alfredson on the verge of returning. Nicholas Avalid ready for contact. So those guys are about to be coming back. Alright, Avalid is getting there. Alright, Alfredson is ready. Can I put him into? No, I have to wait 2 more days. So he's going to be coming back for the next game in Tampa Bay. So we played Pittsburgh not too long ago. We are the only team that beat them so far this year. So Pittsburgh is now 5-1-1. Now we're playing them on the road. Might be a little bit tougher. Let's see what happens. Mike Dunham in net for us. We're facing Guilbert again. Yeah, this time Mario Lemieux's gonna play, though. Might be tougher. It was. We lost 4-2. We were outshot 45-34. Sean McEachern was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Mike Sillinger, second star with an assist. And Richard Park, third star with an assist. So Pittsburgh took a 2-0 lead in the first. We took a whole bunch of penalties in the first period as well. So that probably didn't help us. Then in the second, we traded goals. Pittsburgh made it 3-0 before Nieuwendyk scored on the power play from Datsuk and Osa. It was 3-1 Pittsburgh. Then we traded goals in the third period. Morozov made it 4-1 in an empty net. And then Robert Cron scored from Mike Seninger, make it 4-2. But there was only 27 seconds left in the game. It was too little too late. Oh, Mario Lemieux hurt himself again. So it's going to be day-to-day again. This time against us. Oh, fake rivalry game coming. That's right, I forgot about that. No one could stop Mike Modano, who had 3 goals and 3 assists against Vancouver. That's a pretty good game there. And another great night for Oleg Taradovsky. That's twice this month. This time he had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Kings. Alright. Alright, so Avlid is ready. You know what? I'm putting you in the minors. You are going to the active roster. And Sushinsky really didn't do anything, so he's going back down. For now. He might be back. Alright, playing the Lightning in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 2-4-2. This is considered a rivalry game for reasons unknown to me. And we are going to take a look here at their roster. So Gord Murphy is hurt, so he's not playing. Oh, so Martin Brochu and Brian Eklund in net. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence if I'm the team playing in front. Paul Mara, Pavel Kubina, Darren Van Imp, Michael Sikar, Joe Rickey, Bryce Salvador on D. Then Serge Aubin, Brunet, Mikko Eloranta that they just traded for. Rob Zamuner, Karitonov, Kevin Adams, Scott Nicol, Damon Lenko, Andrew Savage, Vincent Cavalier, Ziegler, DeMaio, Jody Hull, Josh Langfeld, and Brad Richards. So, couple former Ottawa Senators in that lineup. Brunet, Hull, Langfeld. Alright, that team is not great. We have to win this. We're going back to Mike Dunham in net. They are going to Brian Eklund. And we lost 3-1. Not a good start to the season. We outshot them 31-29. Vincent Cavalier was the first star. He had a goal and 2 assists. So, of course, he's starting to heat up in his career against us here. Pavel Datsuk was the second star with a goal. And Brad Richards, third star, a goal and an assist. So, Tampa Bay opened the scoring in the first. And Pavel Datsuk tied it shortly after. His first of the season on the power play from Surrey and Thornton. It was tied at 1 after 1. They scored twice in the second, and that was it. We lost 3-1. I know, I've already put him in the minors. Suspension for Mike Johnson in Florida. Oh, look at that picture. He looks kind of mad. He's going to miss 1 game, which is against us, so we are not going to face Mike Johnson. Marcus Nilsson played against Nashville the night before playing us, and he had 3 goals and an assist in that game. So hopefully you got all of your goals out of you, so that when you face us, you don't score any, and that we can get a shutout. I need a shutout to make my team feel better about itself, because we are not playing well at all. Alright, playing Florida. They are 4-3-1 for 9 points this season. So after that game, we're going back home to play Toronto, and that's going to be it for this month. Now, let's see here. No injuries in Florida. Mike Johnson is suspended, as we just saw. John Graham and John Van Beesbrook in net still, so that didn't change. I believe we played them in the preseason. Bancroft, Janssen, Holder, Hallen, Dallas, Dykhouse, Neil Youngman, Mike Brown, Bashkirov, Sergei Samsonov. Yeah. We played them in the preseason. I remember all of those players. And I said in the preseason that it wasn't that great of a lineup, and I will maintain what I said. But they are better than us in the standings so far, so I have to respect them. Tim Thomas in net for us, and we are going to be facing John Van Beesbrook. Looks like Van Beesbrook is not the starter anymore. He only played one game. And we won in overtime, 3-2. I will take it. Oh, God. Tim Thomas gets wins, but that's not because he's stellar, because, again, he didn't get a lot of shots. We outshot Florida 49-14. So, Tim Thomas allowed 2 goals on 14 shots. So, again, his save percentage is not going to be all that great. Brian McCabe was the first star of that game. He had a goal and an assist. Sergei Samsonov was the second star with a goal, and Sheldon Souris was the third star with a goal and an assist. And look at that attendance in Florida. This is scary. 6,075 people in attendance. The Panthers have been losing a lot more than we have since they entered the league. At least I turned it around a little bit a few seasons ago. Looks like they never did. So Florida did open the scoring in the first, and then we tied it up in the second. Sheldon Souris scored from Dackel and McCabe, and then Mats Lindgren scored on the power play, gave Florida a 2-1 lead. Marian Osa tied the game on the power play in the third from Yashin and Thornton. It was tied at 2, and then in overtime, Brian McCabe plays the hero from Joe Thornton and Sheldon Souris. And Mike Johnson's suspension is over. Alright, and we have 1 game left. Oh, Rito Van Arx. Not suspended in Chicago. No further discipline for Buffalo's Maxim Afinajanov. So he also didn't get suspended. Alright, Robert Reichel is back from suspension in Calgary, so that's good for them. Busick may incur fine for childish behavior. That's another new email. Looks like they have added some or something there's been a recent update, I think last week or at the start of this week they made an update, and I was reading through the notes. I didn't see anything that said that, but maybe I didn't read all the notes, I don't know. Dallas defenseman Peter Busick is in hot water with head coach Michel Bergeron for a series of pranks aimed at other teammates. These guys are adults, said the Stars bench boss, and they're supposed to be professionals. Why Peter is acting like a clown is beyond me. According to Bergeron, Busick will be fine if the behavior continues. Oh, maybe we did see that once. It's a little bit different. There's another email where it's 2 teammates that play pranks together. That one is just targeted at 1, and I think maybe I've got it once before. However, Busick doesn't understand why his coach is getting all worked up. I'm just having a little fun blowing off some steam. He doesn't need to call me out in public, and finding me would be taking it way too far. It's embarrassing to be singled out like that. I don't know. I guess I need to take things a little more seriously from now on. Yeah. I don't remember who it was, but several seasons ago we got that. I remember now. And there's been a trade between Pittsburgh and Phoenix. So Trevor Kidd and Ulf Samuelsson are going to Phoenix for Trevor Letowski and Joa Gustafsson. Okay, Trevor Kidd is a 1-star goaltender. I can see that. He did have a lot of potential, like when he was drafted. There was a lot of hype around Trevor Kidd. Then Ulf Samuelsson is still a star-and-a-half player despite being 36. And Trevor Letowski is kind of a defensive forward. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's a pretty even trade. Pittsburgh gets younger, so I'll give them the upper hand in that trade, but not by all that much. only because they got younger. Joe Sakic has a great game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Phoenix. In dynamic passing leads to productive night for Matt Sundin. So in that same game, he scored 4 assists. Pretty good. Alright, so the last game of the month, we are going to be playing at home against Toronto. Toronto is 5-4-1 now with 11 points. And they are 7th in the East. We are 11th, so a win here would really help us salvage the month. 1 game under 500 for the month is, I mean, that's not good, but it's not as catastrophic as starting 0-4 would have indicated. So let's get a win here. We are playing against Giguère in net. We're going with Mike Dunham. Let's get Dunham a shutout so that he can get his save percentage above 900. And we won 41. And that's, with a performance like that, that's going to get above 900. Perfect. Alright, we outshot Toronto 48-31. Marian Osa was the first star of that game. He had 3 assists. Brian McCabe, second star, 2 assists. And Daniel Alfredson, third star with a goal and an assist. 12,497 fans in the stands. We took a 3-0 lead in the first. We've been doing that. In the games that we won, we've been doing that a lot. We scored early. So Guerin scored from Arvidsson and Brian McCabe. Then Alfredson on the power play from Osa and Yashin. And Zdeno Chara scored its first from Osa and Alfredson. So 3-0 after 1. Nobody scored in the second. And we traded goals in the third. Roman Amerlik from Osa and McCabe. And then Wendell Clark scored with 45 seconds left in the game to prevent Dunham from getting the shutout that I wanted for him to get. The very unfit Wendell Clark. He's been unfit for years. Right. Brendan Shannon's suspension has ended, so he will be back. Oh, that's true. He got suspended in the playoffs, or right before the playoffs last season. Yeah, at the end of last season, he got suspended for 13 games or something. So he hasn't been playing this year so far. Alright, so, okay. Yeah, Hutchinson is really getting a lot of points, but his star rating doesn't go up. Which is a little weird to me, but okay. Alright, so Steve Yzerman and Patrick Roy are the players of the month. The month has ended, so those are the winners. So if we look at the standings, well, that win put us in 8th in the East. Of course, we're not playing for 500, so I don't like that record all too much. But considering the start to the season we had, I'm mildly okay with a 5-6 record. We're gonna need to turn it around in November. So let's see. Pittsburgh is first in the East. Montreal is first in our division. Tampa Bay. Wow, Tampa Bay is finally having some success. They are atop of their division. Of course, they are in the worst division of the league. That helps a little bit. And who's the worst team in the East? The Atlanta Thrashers with 2 points. They did play less games than everybody else except the Islanders. Now, if we look in the West, Colorado is first, Detroit, Dallas, LA, Anaheim, Columbus, wow, Phoenix, and Edmonton. Alright, so the Blues are not in a playoff spot, but they're doing better than the previous couple seasons where they started both times really horribly. And Nashville is the worst team in the West. Calgary is not doing too hot either. Huh. Okay, now if we look at our stats, I think Osa's probably going to be the best player. Sure is. 16 points in 11 games for Marian Osa. 5 goals, 11 games. 5 goals and 11 assists. I'm sorry. Yashin, 13 points in 11 games. Joe Thornton, 12 in 11. So we have 3 guys that are more than a point per game. That's pretty good. Then McCabe is our best offensive defenseman. He has 6 points, so he's starting to get it, apparently. So stepping in for Zvela and I guess Norm McIver, who's not on the team anymore, he retired. I wouldn't have resigned him anyway. Cullen was helped by that game where he had a hat trick, of course, so he has 6 points. Johnny Van Dyke slowing down a little bit, 5 points in 10 games. Still my captain. Oh, by the way, I stripped an alternate from Yashin and gave it to Cullen because Cullen has a lot of leadership, so trying to shake things up a little bit on that front. Alright, so Brad Larson doesn't have a point in 7 games. Chris Phillips also doesn't have a point in 4 games. That's not really his game, though. Mike Fisher, 2 points in 3 games. That's pretty interesting. Alright, so that's pretty much where we're at as far as we go. So we're going to keep an eye on those 3 here. Osa, Yashin, and Thornton. Lots of points. Then in the league, the best goal scorer is Paul Carrier. He has 11, tied with Matt Sundin and Yzerman. They all have 11 goals. 13 assists for Lidstrom, Modano, and Yzerman. That make them the best passers, and the best scorer total is Yzerman with 24 points. Modano, Sundin, Carrier, Sakic, Lidstrom, Osa, Robitaille, Lang, Danfus, Zetterberg, and Palfi, all names that all names that make sense. Alright, I am going to end this here. My voice is starting to abandon me, so it is time to end the video. So as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you've liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. That's always appreciated. And until I roll this game again, see you guys next time. Thank you.